Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Whatever This Is. I'm Zach.
And I'm Travis, and welcome to Whatever This Is. This week, we're joined by the fantastic artist Kfir Mendel. Kfir can tell you a little bit more about himself in a minute, but before we get there, let's just tell you about what this is. This is our weekly podcast where we play a little game where we ask open-ended or strange questions of our guests and each other. This week, we are going with a melted plastic record bowl. Thank you.
What's it a record of?
It's like show tunes.
Oklahoma.
Broadway in rhythm.
Yeah. Sarah, my wife, made it with her Aunt Danielle. It was one of the art projects Aunt Danielle had for us a couple weeks ago. Nice. She's always setting us up with art projects. She's fantastic. Hi, Aunt Danielle, if you're watching. So anyway, we put in a bunch of questions in here. We had some questions from previous episodes, and Kfir actually added a question or two. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what we're going to learn, but we're definitely going to find out some information. But before we get going too far, Kfir, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. My name's Kfir, and I am an artist / craftsman, and I do weird things. I burn, most of my art is these days at least, I burn images, 3-dimensional images onto traditional brain tan buckskin. And then I paint them with dirt and bones and eyeballs.
For those of you who don't understand what brain tan buckskin is, that's deer leather.
I mean, how detailed do you want me to get?
Oh, so, I mean, that was always, I've known Kfir now for 3 years.
More than that, dude. We worked at Boston.
4 years?
Together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so when I've worked with Kfir behind his table, selling his art, this stuff is fantastic. And one of my favorite things to say at the con is that we have the best smelling booth because this stuff is just so pungent. It's leather, so it just has all that burn smell and that natural oil smell. It's wonderful.
It smells like a campfire. Or jerky, which is the same thing.
Or like a campfire made of jerky.
Ooh. But wait, no, then you'd be burning a lot of jerky, and that seems like waste.
That is wasteful.
Yeah.
Okay, scratch that whole idea. For the people watching
They're trying to be really professional and orderly and neat about this, and that's not how I work.
As much as possible. I mean, we're a couple of dunces. For those of you watching along, where can people, or listening along, whatever, for those of you following us, where could people find your artwork? Where can they see you?
Well, they can find my artwork on cave-geek.com. Or if you want to watch me live, you can go on Twitch. We're actually streaming this live on my Twitch channel right now. So that's twitch.tv/cavegeekart. And Cave Geek Art is pretty much my username, tag, whatever, on any social media.
It's your brand.
My brand. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that. So if you want to look at my stuff, please do all that stuff. And
there'll be links in the description, and we'll make it easy for you guys to find them.
Thank you.
We'll even put a link to his YouTube channel at the end of this. Do you still put up to your YouTube channel?
I do. Rarely. It just takes so much time to edit videos and stuff. So,
but the videos that you could find on there are of Kfir working on his artwork. And so when he says he works on brain tan buckskin, he's not just painting random images. Sometimes they can be, but that's not the point. What I find that he gets the most attention for is his beautiful art, or as maps rather. All of his art is beautiful. His maps work that he does. He takes these fictional or sometimes ancient maps and transcribes them onto the leather. Well, you're not telling yourself. I gotta tell the people.
The first thing I ever did, really, the first serious piece I did was a map of Middle Earth, and so that's what got me started because I'm a big nerd and I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. And so I do a lot of maps.
You just said doo-doo.
I do a lot of maps. It's my favorite thing to do is maps. I have the most fun with maps, but I do comic covers and portraits and things like that. But maps are the most fun.
You do? You have the most fun with maps?
I do. Because, and I realize why people love maps and why I love maps. And when I was much younger and I would, read fantasy books like Dragonlance and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and whatever, I always spend a ton of time looking at the map. And anytime they're in a new place in the story, I go to the map to find out where they are. And in hindsight, I realized that you could everyone in a story, you have a favorite character, and so you like that character, you may not like the others. So, but the map contains your character. It has all your favorite characters. It has all your favorite scenes from the book. Everything that you like about the story is in the map. The things that you don't like are also there, but you don't see them, right? When you're looking at the map, you see it's kind of like this big picture, which is really what maps are. But it's a map of the story that you like. So,
I can see that. So in essence, it takes you there.
Right.
It puts you right there in the story in your mind.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So that's why maps are a lot of fun, because when I make a map of Middle Earth, let's say, then I'm reliving the story with the places I'm drawing and painting and all that. And I sometimes watch the movies while I do it too, so that helps. It's kind of like this Inception thing going on.
As a fun little, no, you're good. As one fun little thing, I don't know if Kfir's going to want to offer this up, but who's in possession of one of your Middle Earth maps?
Well, Stephen Colbert has one.
That's awesome.
That's the second map. I sent it to him because I was at home with a really bad back and could barely move, could barely even go to the toilet. It was awesome. And then I don't know, somebody sent me something on Facebook like, "Hey, Stephen Colbert is a big Tolkien nerd. He should have one of your maps." And I said, "Well, he should, but he's never going to hear of me. So, but I have time. I have a hide. I have pigments and all that. Why don't I do it?" So I just made one, and turns out that a relative of a friend of mine was an intern on the show, so we got the map directly to him. And a year later or so, I got a thank you note. Took a little while,
but it was a handwritten thank you.
But it was a handwritten thank you note, so that was great. Richard Taylor from Weta Workshop.
Very nice.
And I hear that my map that I made Weta is hanging in their leather room, which sounds really kinky.
Really?
Yeah. They apparently have a leather room, and apparently my map is hanging in their leather room.
Have you never been to their main workshop?
No, it's in New Zealand.
Oh, it's in New Zealand. That's right.
Yeah.
You haven't? No?
I don't know. I'd love to, but no.
Get going.
Okay. It's nice. It's nice talking to you. Yeah, so it's fun. I sometimes people that I admire. So Stephen Colbert is one of them. Richard Taylor is definitely one of them. Just for bringing the Lord of the Rings to life.
Absolutely.
It's like I will have his babies. Yeah. So
even though it's biologically impossible,
we'll find a way. So
love finds a way.
I mean, imagine how much those babies will be worth.
I mean, you would get Disney World. As I understand it, there's an agreement. I'm serious. The first man to have a child, like a first man to give a natural childbirth, gets Disney World. Unless that was just something I heard somewhere that isn't true. I'll research this. Somebody leave a comment. You do the research, or if you're here on. Anyway, so that's a little bit about Kfir and where you can find his work and what he does and how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Let's get into this. What are we?
All right.
Oh, questions. All right, we started the questions.
You can't freaking just pick and choose. You got to pick randomly.
How do you want to be remembered?
All right, we'll give this first one to Kfir. You start us off.
Oh.
Start us off.
Now, do we all three of us answer?
Yeah, so we're going to change it up. That's a good question. The past couple episodes, we've each only taken one person takes a stab at one question and we keep going. But at this point, screw it. Let's all answer, let's have a little conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go till we're done. So Kfir, how do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? That's a really deep question. I think at the core of it, I just want to be remembered as a good guy.
That's reputable.
Just somebody who did some good things. Doesn't necessarily what, but because you don't necessarily need to do good things just to be remembered, but to be remembered as somebody who made a difference in people's lives, I guess.
My question to that is how many people's lives do you have to make different for you to be remembered? Like, if you're remembered by one person, is that good?
So that's a completely different question.
Completely different question.
Right. That's another.
Well, no, to me, so to me, it's something. How do you be remembered? So it's what you've endowed, or
right.
the impact you've had on
You
your
know,
community.
I would love to say that, one person, if you made a difference in one person's life and they remember you, then that's enough. But, that's cheesy. And the more the merrier, I guess. I mean, it's enough, but the more the merrier.
So if we're speaking honestly, I want to be known as an artist. I want to be known as an entrepreneur. I want to be remembered as, somebody that didn't take shit from no one, that had a dream or had a passion and pursued it to its fullest. I do want to be able to be known as an, oh my word, somebody that gave back. The word is escaping me, but yes, thank you. I do want to be known as a full-on rapist. I mean, a philanthropist. And
what did a flan do to you?
Rape a flan? Just rape an entire Spanish or Mexican cake? That would be sweet. That's terrible.
You can edit that out.
No, that's probably going to get
in.
an image. That's the way we do it. You haven't watched the podcast.
No, I have not.
Kfir's on the podcast he hasn't even seen. So little does he know that I'm going to take his picture and put it on lots of different things that he talks about today.
Oh, all right.
How do you want to be remembered?
It's Travis's bitch.
Yes. No. No. I guess at least as a decent restaurateur, I don't necessarily care if I'm world renowned, but at least city or state renowned. Like I want to have a restaurant where people won't mind driving 45 minutes to come, and or even more. I mean,
It's a destination.
So
yeah, I want to have a place where people flock to for not only the food, the atmosphere. I want to be
experience.
exactly. I want to be able to give people a night out and an experience that they're not going to forget. So
is food, cooking your passion, or is it the whole
it's all
entertaining?
Of it. It's all of it. Yeah, it really
experience.
comes down to. I've been in customer service, managing a coffee shop, and then a Dunkin' Donuts as well. I'm in front of customers.
Donuts make people happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They make me happy.
The donuts, yeah.
And we're out in front of people all day. So the thing for me is to really put on a show in front of the customers. And if anyone's ever heard me on the intercom or speaker at my current job, I kind of make a little show of it. I saw this great video of this guy, I believe it was in Australia.
Spicy.
And just made it the whole process of taking the order so entertainable. Or,
Entertainable.
And unobtainable? Unattainable?
Unobtainable?
Unobtainium?
Made it so entertainable.
Entertaining?
Entertainable.
That's-
Entertainable. I'm making up words here. Entertaining. That it kind of gave me a passion for doing it as well. So especially for someone that works at a coffee shop, you're usually someone's first stop every day. So you have the chance to positively affect their day. And with great power comes great responsibility. So
Do you feel like we've satisfied? I think that's a good one.
I think that satisfies that question.
move on down.
You want to pick this next one?
Sure. That was totally random. Okay, the question is, what was the funniest thing that happened to you during a serious moment? Oof, that's a tough one to come up with on the spot.
I know
ahead.
I know one. So this is one of my favorite stories about my family. My sister was in her bedroom breaking up with a boyfriend, and like they've been dating for a couple years, but it was one of these relationships that needed to end, but neither one of them wanted to be the person to do it. So she finally got to a point where she was just enough with it and she was putting it to an end. So we came over and they're in their bedroom and we could hear crying and there was like a little bit of arguing, but for the most part it was civil. And my mother comes upstairs. Now, I love my mother dearly, but sometimes she doesn't necessarily pay attention to the full situation, I think is a fair assessment. So she was going to watch a movie, and she was really, really curious about it, but it was a chick flick, so she assumed that only Shelby would know about it. So she knocks on my sister's bedroom door, opens it up before really being allowed in, and goes, "Hey, Shelby, what's the movie The Breakup about?" It was by far one of the funniest things that happened in that house. Oh, it was great. Yeah, he even had to laugh in the middle of it.
Wow.
But they were crying, and she realized what happened, and then she realized what was going on, and she backed out slowly. That's what I got. What do you got? This is your question, so.
No, I know. Looking back on it, I realized how terrible it was. I never really grasped the severity of it. I was about 7 years old, 8 years old. We were at a funeral. In New Jersey. My brother and I. We were at the wake, actually. So my brother, my cousin Casey, and Carl and I went to the other sitting room that was empty. With a bunch of persuading by Casey and Carl, talked us into me and Kyle having a wrestling match in the funeral home. So...
During services.
Well, it was our families, and there was no one else there. But yes. And then the guy came in.
All together on the place?
Yeah. And he goes, "How would you feel about me wrestling in your house?" And the only thing I could think of is, you live here with the dead people. When I was 7 years old, so...
It could be like My Girl. Isn't it in My Girl, don't they live above the funeral?
No, yeah, that is true.
My Girl. All right.
Poor little guy.
Although the question should be, how would you feel if there was a 7-year-old wrestling in your house? Which is like, that's what 7-year-olds do.
Right? Especially with other 7-year-olds,
Right.
hanging around.
It's something as boring as a funeral or a wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would,
I don't want a funeral. I want a party.
That's a different question altogether. But yeah, I definitely don't want to be buried. I think that's one of the most selfish things we can do as a human being, is to forever claim a spot of land as ours. We're all just creatures. We're no different than animals, and we should decay and fall back to the earth like the rest of God's creatures. But
I agree.
again, that's
You're
going.
getting real deep.
Yeah, I'm going Debbie Downer.
You're Debbie Downer
I
of the
said a
week.
party. He went down completely different.
I think we need a Debbie Downer award.
We just need a Debbie Downer alarm.
Yeah, well, no. Just,
Wah, wah, wah. You're fucking depressing.
Well, I personally really can't think of like the funniest thing that happened during a serious moment.
How about a funny thing that happened? You don't have to be the funniest.
Oh, I mean, it's tough for me to come up with stuff like that on the spot, really.
You just don't want to implicate yourself.
No, that's especially coming up with something that's like a short story and not like a hour long.
Well, that's the beauty. That's why we edit it. The people on their Twitch will have to,
yeah.
but they deal with that every night when they tune into you.
They do. I do ramble on. I mean, it might come up. Right now I can't think of one.
It's okay.
So if
Kfir's
come back.
Kfir's gonna bow out on this one, and I'm gonna pick another question.
Yeah.
If you could bring one fictional character to life, who would it be, and why? Kfir starts.
Ooh. Right off the bat, Hasselhoff Burfoot. He is not Hasselhoff's.
I thought you like
No,
David
this is
Hasselhoff's.
he's a real person.
Right. No,
You could have him manana. He probably isn't cost that much anymore.
I'm surprised if you don't see him at conventions signing autographs.
I'm surprised you don't do it either. Like he's got to be about there, but he's huge in Germany.
Well, yeah.
Everybody's like,
He was the German
that's
beer
like
team.
within 20
coach.
seconds of the beginning of every conversation that involves David Hasselhoff as a topic, someone will say he's huge in Germany.
Well, but I mean, if I'm
true,
huge, if
but
I'm
it's-
huge in another country, I'm the fuck out of this country. I'm gonna go hang out over there, or at least for spend a
I
week.
hear you're huge in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Yeah, that would be my luck.
I'm moving to Bangladesh, guys. See you later.
You're huge in Zimbabwe. Have fun.
So Hasselhoff Burfoot is my all-time favorite fantasy character. He's a Kender. That's what they're called from the Dragonlance world. Back in God, was it the 80s? It must have been the 80s, late 80s, where TSR, the company that published Dungeons and Dragons and all that, and they were coming out with novels. So Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman are the authors of the Dragonlance Chronicles, which were the first 3 books in what ended up being an entire world that has dozens and dozens of novels written about it or in it. And Tasselhoff Burfoot is my favorite character. He's a Kender. Kender are these little... They're like really short elves in a way.
Okay.
Right?
So like a
physically
hobbit
speaking.
elf?
Right, but hobbits are chubby and hairy, and Kender are not. They're like slender and
Are you fat shaming the small people?
no, I'm just describing
teasing.
biologically
Just
what they look like. There's differences between them. And Kender are fearless. They're completely, literally devoid of fear. So, which gets them into trouble and controls their population somewhat. And they're also insatiably curious and it was just a funny character. I loved it. I loved him, that character. One of my favorite quotes from any book is by him, of him saying, this was from Dragons of Summer Flame, which came out many years after the original trilogy. And he said, the quote is, "There's nothing quite as exciting as going someplace you've never been before," which I really believe.
Yeah.
So he was a fantastic actor. If you haven't,
He was an actor too?
I don't know why.
What? Did you just said he was a fantastic actor?
I said character.
Oh, my apologies.
He could have been a fantastic actor, maybe. I don't know.
Has there
But he
been a
was
production
kinda-
of this? I've never... So, if I'm being honest, I've never heard of this.
Really? No, Dragonlance novels are famous. If you've heard of Forgotten Realms,
I've heard of Forgotten Realms.
that was like the other major world.
Okay.
They had Dragonlance and they had Forgotten Realms, and then there was Ravenloft and Dark Sun and all these other Dungeons and Dragons worlds, campaign worlds, But Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms are the 2 biggest ones.
So,
And I'm ashamed
Forgotten
to call you my
Realms.
friend.
I know.
That you. No,
You're a little older than me too. But, just a little.
A little bit.
Uh,
Yeah. When I was
remember-
reading books in the late 80s, he was like still swimming in his father's.
late 80s? No, I was out by then.
Oh, you were
85.
85. Okay, so
That means I'm going to get a sperm picture this one.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, you could Google Tasselhoff Burfoot and stick his picture there. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And he had this cool weapon. Kender had their traditional weapon was this staff weapon. That the bottom end was sharpened, just a spike. Sometimes it had like a metal spike, and the top was a fork, like a
A trident?
like a slingshot, just
Oh.
a Y fork with a little pouch on it, so they would put a rock and like,
Oh, so like...
Oh, like a
cross-
trebuchet.
kind of like a lacrosse trebuchet catapult.
A lacrosse trebuchet.
Thing. Yeah, they were badasses. They were totally awesome. It was sort of the like imagine Gollum as that little guy who like shifts the story in certain ways, but much happier and not murderous. Not a psychopath.
Zach, fictional character you want to bring to life?
The Flash.
Why?
Why?
Flash. Why?
Because not only can he run,
Oh, Usain Bolt can run. He's already here.
yeah, but not, Mach 3.
Don't tell him that.
Also, he opens up being able to run that fast and opens up the possibility if you're bringing like his whole universe in of time travel, which opens all the possibilities. I can go anywhere I want, whenever I want.
If you
If
run
you're
that.
buddies with him, I mean, you brought him to life. It doesn't quantify that.
Barry Allen's going to be friends with everyone, so.
Doesn't mean that he's your bitch
No,
because you brought him to life.
touche. But I could be his guy in the chair. You know what I mean?
Right. His sidekick.
Yeah.
You got to get
That would
way,
be cool.
way
Kid
better
Flash.
at
Oh
chair
my
stuff.
god, that's an awesome question. Please, let's add a question right now. Can we do that?
What? After the podcast.
I'm
The
gonna forget.
stuff's over there.
I'm gonna forget it.
You'll have to watch it. And then
Which superhero would you like to be the sidekick of?
that's already in there, I imagine.
Really?
I think so.
Specifically about sidekicks?
Yes, it is.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Great minds and all that. All right, your turn.
So fictional character that I would bring to life. I'm still not in with the Flash idea.
Over it.
But that's my problem. I've been sitting here thinking like somebody that would bring to life that wouldn't have humongous implications. Like, I love the life that we have. I don't want like a Dr. Manhattan to come in and completely disrupt how I understand life. I don't want a Flash or a Superman to come in, because that is something that I fully can't even understand, and that opens up the doors to way more. Look at any of those superhero movies, man. There's one common thread: decimation, destruction, and damage. Like, I feel bad for the people living in those homes, and they spent a lot of time on those one-bedroom apartments. They got that IKEA furniture built, and then here comes Batman flying his ass through the wall and breaking all your shit.
Even like Superman, because Superman, other than like the recent movie.
So I didn't watch any of that shit, but I'm more afraid of Superman than I am of Batman. Batman's just a dude.
He is.
In theory, Batman could exist in our world.
But Superman
as
seems
is,
inherently good.
until he decides that he doesn't want to help us anymore.
Which then we're back to where we are now. So.
Well, unless that he decides that we're no longer worthy of his help, then you have more of what's his name? Oh my word! The Marvel's version of him is, God, it's escaping me. But there's a Marvel has a version of superhero, and he blew up his homeworld because they didn't value or they didn't understand what he was doing for them, and it was really the only way to save them was to blow him up. So then he comes to Earth, and he wants all the humans to bow to him because he's so powerful and he can help them,
right?
Or he can help them, but and he's pissed off because they just don't want to. Anyway,
you know,
that
can
was
I say something about that?
Go ahead.
So maybe I agree with you, because if the universe strives for balance, right? If you bring in something as powerful and theoretically good as Superman, would that invariably also be balanced out by creating an equally powerful evil?
That's exactly what I'm assuming.
To oppose him.
And it would just open the door. Then it's an open challenge to any type of somebody looking to do some harm.
Yeah. I would totally suffer the consequences of having dragons, though.
You want a dragon?
Having real dragons like flying around would be sweet. What is going on?
We're now live on 2 different channels and on your thing.
Oh, all right.
Instagram
Cool.
Live.
That over there, I think.
So yeah. So which fictional character would I bring to life? I want like Rocket Raccoon. You know what I mean? I want somebody silly. I want
SpongeBob?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll take SpongeBob. I'll take SpongeBob hanging out with me and like cracking jokes, cracking wise. You know what I mean? I don't want something that's going to ultimately bring death, destruction, and mayhem. I mean, SpongeBob does do that, but
So no Skynet.
Yeah. How many?
Why would I want that?
Let's do it.
Start shifting.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah, no, definitely don't want that. Definitely don't want the Matrix.
None of that.
So SpongeBob.
I guess I'm going fucking SpongeBob.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, I'll take Jessica Rabbit. But does the other one come too?
Roger.
Roger? Yeah.
I mean, if you want. Not really a package deal, though.
His camera's better. He's got all 3 of us.
I don't really like him.
Oh, well, that explains a lot of things.
His camera is wider, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, screw him. It'll just be the 2 of us. Hi.
Well, that's because he's got
Whatever you are.
He's got an Android and you've got an iPhone. So,
That's what it is.
yeah. Androids are better.
Apparently Androids are better. And
Shitty battery, though.
You're dying.
His battery's dying. Anyway,
All right. I think that satisfies that question.
Yeah,
We got time
all
for
right.
one more. So,
more?
Kfir, you pick our final
am
question.
I doing the honor? So how long is this podcast go for?
Anywhere about 40, like half hour to 45 minutes. But like I said, it's kind of just until we're done.
This one appears best 3 times.
No, items.
Oh, sorry. Best
I'm
3.
sorry, my handwriting's terrible.
No, it's not. It totally says it. It's clearly items. I'm probably dyslexic. Best 3 items to buy that would freak out the cashier.
Yeah, so what 3 items can you bring to the cashier at a grocery store or some Quick Mart that would just completely freak them out?
Completely freak them out. Damn. At a grocery store?
Any store. You tell me the place.
All
You
right,
tell me the
well-
place. So let's start with grocery store.
Let's start with the grocery store. Okay. I would say they probably with trash bags.
Okay, so you'd start with trash bags.
Trash bags and a big knife. Because grocery stores have like a kitchen aisle where they've got big knives.
Okay.
And duct tape.
So you got duct tape, trash bags, and a kitchen knife.
I think so.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I don't think that would freak them out. See, I was thinking something like going really, really weird, like baby diapers.
As opposed to adult diapers.
No, baby diapers. Yeah. Barbecue sauce, and then like dryer sheets.
Waved and they left.
Something super, super strange, so that when they when the woman or the person, I shouldn't assume, when the person is looking at my collection of items, they're like, I don't want to go wherever you're going.
All right, I think I got it.
What do you got, Zach?
I got a box of condoms, an eggplant, and toilet paper.
You win.
An eggplant, huh?
Or
It's
a
just the
zucchini.
emoji. I was going to say zucchini, but I thought the eggplant for the emoji.
I
I
got
think
you.
we can go weirder.
Pineapple.
Oh, wow. That would be pretty strange.
Reminds me of what? What is that?
Wait, so it
Little
was
Mickey.
so it was the fruit or vegetable,
Yeah.
the condoms,
And then toilet paper.
and toilet paper. What about like a jar of Vaseline instead?
That would work,
That's too basic.
but the toilet paper implies a nice big mess,
That's
so
Yeah.
it could get gruesome.
Gruesome or greasome? Did you just say greasome?
He said gruesome.
Well, that's what the condoms are for. Grease them up.
All right, so if you were at like a Walmart, you had everything available to you now at a Walmart. I would probably start with like fish food, a duvet cover.
Or like something like that would, like a birthday card, like a 24-pack of cat food, and
I like where you're going with this.
it's something for like a cat food for your grandmother or something. I don't know.
Mr. Thomas, I'm just gonna call you Thomas.
That's good.
KY jelly, a Justin Bieber poster, and a box of tissues.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
That's good.
I would question that. I would definitely question
If
that.
you were the cashier. Yeah. You know, this would be an excellent card game where basically everyone's a cashier. Right? In the game. And you draw cards and then you pick 3 items and you give them to the cashier to check out, and everybody looks at the stuff at the same time or something like that, and you're like gotta pick the most what the fuck moment sort of thing. Kinda like Cards Against Humanity.
All right,
Maybe,
we'll spin
but
on it.
everybody gets these things, and then you're like, you gotta pick the most like disturbing or
Or maybe you have to like write them down. Maybe you have to like write it in.
Oh yeah, kind of like what's that name?
Where you have to-
Game of Things.
Yeah,
Where you write it in.
not a bad
Justin
idea.
Bieber poster, dude.
Can you still buy a Justin Bieber poster anymore?
Yeah, Kmart. Do they have Kmarts up here?
My God, we're from one of the only towns that have a Kmart left.
Really?
It's the lifeblood of our town. All right. Well,
Are we done?
I think so. Does that feel done?
Yeah, that last one was good.
That was a good one to go out on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kfir, for
Thank
coming
you, Kev.
on.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. Where can everyone find you one more time?
One more time, you can find me on my website, the www.cave-geek.com. The dash is important, and because whoever owns cavegeek.com is not doing anything with it, and
They're just sitting on it?
just sitting on it.
Those
Yeah.
jerks.
Assholes. Also on Twitch, twitch.tv/cavegeekart and cavegeekart on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So yeah, Twitter, all those things. Thanks to everyone who was watching.
Yeah, thanks
On
to
Twitch.
people on Twitch. This is something
That's
different.
basically Squeak and Thomas. Thomas walked in right at the end, so
Sorry, but added some great content.
yeah, that was added the only and great content.
I wasn't going to tell him that. He just came at the end. He didn't need to know. For those looking to find me, you can find me on Instagram and all the socials at @HunchbackTravis.
And you can find me on Instagram at Zach.cave.
Thank you very much for watching, for listening. Thanks for liking and subscribing.
Yeah, and if you're on Twitch, click the follow button and all that, and watch me do some art.
Yeah,
soon.
Go watch Kfir do some art.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thanks again, you guys. This has been whatever this is. I'm Zach.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Kfir.
And we out.
What is this?
Whatever
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
it is.
Whatever it is.